Thousands of people suddenly turn into bloodthirsty killers, tearing each other apart in broad daylight. It looks like the end of the world, but this chaos was triggered by just one man. To stop him, a street kid must become the world's deadliest spy before humanity destroys itself. On a cold, rainy London street, you meet Gary Eggsy Unwin, a kid with a rough haircut, rougher manners, and a life that looks like it's been written to teach you how not to grow up. He's smart in the survival sense, quick with his mouth, quicker with his fists, and absolutely convinced the world owes him. What he doesn't know is that a very particular kind of world, one populated by impeccably dressed spies with manners older than the monarchy, has been watching him for reasons he can't imagine. Eggsy's story starts with loss. His dad died on a job that the public never heard about, and that vacuum leaves Eggsy adrift. Enter Harry Hart, a suave British gentleman and undercover Kingsman agent who once worked with Eggsy's father. Harry, the man who drinks tea like it's a secret handshake and takes mind your P's and Q's to lethal levels, sees a lot more than potential trouble in Eggsy. He sees the makings of an agent. So he makes an offer most people would call insane. Come work for us. Learn to be better than you are. Eggsy, needing chances more than he needs caution, says yes. This film is as much about manners as it is about mojo. The Kingsman organization is built on British eccentricity, tailor shops that hide custom weapons, a code of conduct that doubles as an instruction manual for killing with a smile, and gadgets so tasteful they'd make James Bond jealous. The recruitment process is brutal, hilarious, and often humiliating. Eggsy isn't the only candidate. There are others: Roxy, a capable and steadfast contender who's got brains and grit, and several guys who think attitude equals aptitude and get spectacularly reminded otherwise. The tests range from marksmanship drills to driving that would make a stunt coordinator blush, but the heart of it is about character. Harry and the training team, including the tech-smart Merlin, put these recruits through their paces to see who can be a Kingsman. You can't talk about this movie without talking about Samuel L. Jackson's Richmond Valentine, a tech billionaire with a smile like a plague. Valentine talks a lot about saving the planet. He uses charts, he uses charity, and he uses ridiculous philanthropic speeches that sound exactly like someone who has no intention of listening to his own humanity. The twist, and it's the kind of twisted plan that makes you lean forward in your seat, is that Valentine thinks the Earth needs fewer people to survive. He's not subtle. He's charming, and he's convinced he's somehow morally superior for plotting an extreme population control scheme. So he rigs a plan built on mobile phones, free SIM cards, and the kind of tech veneer that makes his ideas feel unstoppable. Valentine surrounds himself with the kind of henchmen that define movie villains. Gazelle, a woman with blade prosthetic legs who moves like a dancer and kills like a machine. Twists and enforcers who are part boardroom, part butcher. He funds philanthropy and chaos in equal measures, handing out free SIM cards like kindness and trust fall in one. The plan is meticulous. Use technology to turn people's impulses into violence, and then manipulate the aftermath into a new world order. Horrifying? Yes. Believable enough in the film's logic to keep you worried? Also yes. Training intercuts with threat. Eggsy learns how to be both a gentleman and a weapon. There's wardrobe montages, there are gadgets hidden in umbrellas, and there's that signature Kingsman courtesy. Manners first, then murder. Harry takes Eggsy under his wing, both to keep his promise to Eggsy's father and because he genuinely believes in the kid. Their relationship is the emotional backbone of the film. Harry's old-school decency rubbing off on a kid who's been forced to improvise decency out of scraps. As training wraps, Valentine's plan accelerates. He's convinced that shocking people into violence is the fastest way to prune the world. He uses his global platform and a video address to push people's buttons. Literally. One of the most chilling sequences shows how thin the veneer of civilization can be when you press the right feed through a global network. Churches, stadiums, gatherings, places people go for calm and ritual, become pressure points in Valentine's cruel experiment. The film doesn't shy away from the horror of that, but it balances dread with moments of darkly comic absurdity, which makes the stakes feel both urgent and watchable. When Valentine's plot hits home, it's brutal and startling. He pulls off an attack that takes out a huge portion of the Kingsman field force in one fell swoop, revealing how exposed even the best agents can be when the enemy controls the information channels. That hit is personal for Harry. People close to him die, and the agency pays a terrible price. After the carnage, the organization is a skeleton of itself, and the recruitment process turns from an exercise in skill to a desperate push to rebuild their numbers. Eggsy, who has gone from raw recruit to a fully activated Kingsman, finds himself in the middle of that fight, streetwise instincts meshed with training and a bit of reckless heroism. Harry becomes a mentor, more father than handler, sharing things that matter: how to tie a tie, how to aim, when to make a joke even if everything's burning. For Eggsy, every lesson is both a test and a lifeline. The film gives them moments to trade barbs and wisdom, to make you care before the plot gets sad. And sad it does get. Valentine's reach creates deaths that feel like betrayals, and the film mourns convincingly. But it also doubles down on its odd but effective idea that civility can be weaponized too, a fabricated social grace that hides a lethal competence. Mid-film, things scale up to ludicrous and gleefully violent. Valentine's plan culminates in a global broadcast intended to trigger chaos. The church sequence is especially harrowing, a place of sanctuary turned into a theater for one of Valentine's demonstrations of power. Without spoiling every detail, that moment exposes how he uses media like a scalpel, cutting into crowds and goodwill to demonstrate that civilization is under threat from within. The survivors are left stunned. The world's governments scramble, and the remaining Kingsmen realize they have to strike at the heart of Valentine's operation. There are betrayals and shocks. There's a sequence where someone you'd assumed gone for good resurfaces in a way that complicates everything. The film plays with expectations. Who lives, who dies, who's really wearing a mask and who's just wearing a suit, and it does so with some emotional teeth. The emotional core is always Eggsy learning what it means to choose a life, to follow the rules of a gentlemanly order, or to carve his own path. The answer, of course, is somewhere messy in between. When the final confrontation arrives, it's a classic action set piece with personal stakes. Eggsy has to bring the training home, outsmarting traps, surviving impossible odds, and facing off against Valentine's physical threats. He's not alone. Allies step up, sacrifices are made, and the film gives space for a clash that is as much about ideology as it is about skill. Valentine's explanations stay chillingly rational. He believes his genocide is benevolent, and that chilling clarity makes the conflict feel like a debate with bullets instead of words. The climax doesn't end quietly. The film makes room for a wound to heal, for the old guard to pass the baton, and for Eggsy to grow into a version of himself that's dangerous and gentlemanly in equal measure. There are moments of black comedy scattered throughout the resolution, lines dropped with perfect timing, one-liners that make you laugh even when you know you shouldn't because people are being impaled by very sharp prosthetic limbs nearby, and they lighten the mood enough to keep the whole thing from falling into dour seriousness. By the time the credits are about to roll, Eggsy's trajectory is clear. He's become a Kingsman in more than name. He's learned to wear a suit that isn't just fabric. He's learned to answer violence with skill rather than rage, and he's kept a sliver of his youthful irreverence. Harry's influence lingers in manners and in morals. Valentine's shadow lingers in the way technology can be weaponized by anyone with enough hubris and money. The film closes with a kind of sardonic optimism. The world is messy, but people who choose to act decently can still make a difference, even if it comes coated in a layer of gore and glorious gadgetry. Along the way, the movie gives you sharp set pieces, a chaotic Oxford-style training test turned brawl, a bombastic church sequence, and a final assault that takes full advantage of its spy movie tropes. It also gives you small moments: Eggsy reading a letter from his mother, Harry giving advice about being a gentleman, and casual, brutal humor when the situation calls for gallows laughter. The supporting cast, from the stable-handed Merlin who keeps the tech humming, to the valiant Roxy whose competence never gets the screen time she deserves, rounds out the world and keeps the stakes personal. In short, this is a spy film that knows how to wink while it slashes. It delivers on action, it keeps the laughs cranked up without undermining sacrifice, and it anchors the spectacle in characters worth following. Eggsy's arc, from street kid to Kingsman, is classic, sure, but it's done with enough heart, enough style, and enough ridiculousness to feel fresh. By the end, you're left rooting for the suit as much as the man wearing it, and that's half the fun. So if you're in the mood for well-dressed violence, clever gadgets, and a surprisingly tender mentor-student story wrapped in a moral about choice and civility, this one checks all the boxes, and then punctures them with an umbrella.